Hi, it's Nick on the 6th of August. 5th of August. Welcome to episode 6 of this week's series on being paid for our work. And today I want to introduce you to one of the thoughts that I think can be most undermining. It's a kind of ego pernicious thought that on the surface kind of looks like it's masquerading as being very sensible, and on one level it is being sensible. So it's possible that we don't recognize that it is actually a fearful thought, because it could also be a very realistic thought. And that thought is, yeah, I know what I'd love to do, but I can't earn a living out of it, or nobody would ever pay me to do that. You know, some combination of I could never make a living doing that, or who would ever pay me to do that? There's nobody who would want to pay me to do that. That one thought in its various forms has killed so many callings dead in their tracks, I think, because people have gone, well, I'm inspired, I know what my calling is, but I know I could never make a living out of it, or I can't see how I could ever make a living out of it, so what's the point of pursuing that calling? And that's a very sensible thing to do, because if we've got responsibilities, we've got mortgages, we've got families, we need to know where the money is going to come from. So on the one hand, that thought is very sensible. And on the other hand, it is also that pernicious thought, because it stops you even starting the journey. It kind of makes us go, so what's the point? Yes, in another world that was set up to support us in our callings, I would follow my calling. So we can kind of satisfy ourselves by going, well, yeah, I know what my calling is, and I know in a world that was set up differently, I would pursue it if I knew I could earn my living out of it. But I can't, so I won't. And that stopped a lot of people. It stopped me for many years. I remember when I was in my corporate career, I used to go over and over again on the back of an envelope going, well, what are my outgoings? How do I think I could possibly earn a living from, writing or speaking or coaching or running workshops or whatever it was that I was thinking about doing in those very early days before I started my business. I could never make it add up. It never seemed to work on paper. So really, to be honest, I ended up taking a kind of leap of faith, not utterly blind leap of faith, but I went, I just trust that I will figure out and learn and discover the ways that I can turn my calling into my living. So those ways have only come clear as I've gone on the journey. And I've had some up and down times, I've had some really tough times, I've had some really wonderful times. But I think what I can now say with a degree of authority over looking back over 30 years is there is always a way to earn a living out of your calling. There is a way to earn a living out of everything that you're on earth to do. And I just turn that around these days and say, well, actually in a society now where we kind of outsource so much of our lives, there are people that would pay you to do pretty much everything. There are people that would pay you to sit in their homes and look after them and eat their food and watch their television and look after their pets. It's called house sitting. There are people that you'll pay. I met this woman once and I asked her what her job was, and she said, I get paid to be massaged. And I went, excuse me, did I mishear you? And she said, no, I get paid to be massaged. And cut long story short, she was a massage examiner. Her job was to lay on the table, have a massage, and then evaluate the person doing the massage. It just made me giggle. And I've met people who've made their careers out of making moustaches and wigs and beards for film sets and actors on film sets. I was watching a TV show a while ago, and there were people that are paid in an airport in Canada that freezes over in the winter. They are paid to drive up and down the runways in cars and go skidding and seeing if they can skid the cars, and they get paid for that because they want to check whether it's safe for aeroplanes to land. So I truly believe today that whatever your calling might be, when you show up with it, when you show up powerfully with it, when you're entrepreneurial around it, you can make a living out of doing it. Whether it will be easy or not, I don't know. But whether it's possible, yes, I believe it's possible, and you may need to do other work to support you whilst you build up a business doing your calling. So I just want to say, that validation, that I think that one thought of like, who would ever pay me to do that? I could never make a living out of it. Can be a really pernicious thought that has killed so many wonderful callings, kind of stopped them in their tracks. I hope it's helpful to you. Thank you for watching this. God bless. Have a good day. Bye-bye.